in a track. Yeah.
Welcome to Clock In with Lynn. 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 Hey, y'all. Happy Winning Wednesday, everybody. I am just 4 minutes late. I am so happy to see everybody. Hey, Lynn's friends. Hey, everybody. Let me know where you are clocking in from. Please put it in the comment section so I can know. Y'all know I'm nosy, so I will know where y'all are clocking in from. I want to know where you are watching from. Let me put the comment section on here. I am so excited about today's show. It's going to be a good one, y'all. So how's everybody doing? Let me know how you're doing in the comment section as well. Let me make sure I have everything working on my end. But yes, it is a beautiful day here in sunny California. Also, make sure when you come in, y'all hit that subscribe button, that like button. It just take a quick little second, y'all. It don't cost nothing. You just hit that little button for me, and that would really help me. So, yes, I am excited about today. Today has been good to me. Had a couple of technical difficulties, but y'all know I'm working it out. It always works out. That's one thing. You have to always have a positive attitude, no matter what. Don't panic. Just push through and it'll all work out, okay? So, yes, I got the comment section on. And today's guest, I'm so excited. If we do have questions at the end, if he has time to answer questions at the end, just throw it in the comment section and I'll let y'all know. So we got that going. Let's see who's here in the comment. Hey Nassar. Wait. Y'all know I got my glasses on now. you gotta bear with me. Hi everybody. Hey Lens friends. What's good out there? I hope y'all are taking care of yourself. Y'all know how I feel about self-care. You got to take care of you before you try to take care of anybody else. So make sure you're taking care of you. I am good. Thanks for asking. Is that Coley? Thank you. Thank you. Make sure y'all hitting that like button as you come in. I want more people to come in. Oh, we got a few people in the building. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So yes. Okay. So y'all, I'm excited about the guest today. Y'all know how I feel about building generational wealth. You know, I am a real estate agent as well. And I got into real estate. The reason why I got into real estate is because I wanted to get the insight of what is going on with real estate, because I feel like so many of people, especially in our community, they're a little bit intimidated about buying real estate, especially out here in Cali. Now it's a whole nother beast out here. So I'm very excited. He's from my hometown. It's going to be a good time today. So y'all get y'all something to drink. Get you some water. I got my water over here, my sparkling water. I put a little lime in my sparkling water. And we're going to have a good time, okay? So y'all ready? Okay, so listen. Okay. He's a nationally known real estate trailblazer. He's a speaker, investor, and author. He has 20 years of experience in real estate appraisal and housing education. He's a native of Little Rock, Arkansas, a proud graduate of the University of Arkansas, where he earned 2 degrees, y'all, in criminal justice and sociology. He's a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And y'all, at age 26, he made history as the youngest in the country to own and operate a real estate appraisal company during the housing crisis in 2008. He later worked with Fannie Mae as a valuation analyst across all 50 states, and today he serves as a Forbes Home Board member. As a published author, he wrote the inspiring wealth building book, Assessing My Value, where he shares his journey. So let's take a look. Welcome Marcus Hill to the stage. Hey, Marcus, welcome to Talking with Lynn.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here in the building today.
Yes, I am so excited. I've been wanting to get you on here. I was like, we got to get Mr. Marcus Hill on the show, baby, because you have all the insights. So, you ready to clock in?
I'm clocking in today.
Let's do it. So I just want to ask y'all, like I said, he is from Little Rock, Arkansas, my hometown. So how did you get in, or you know what, just tell us a little bit about, I know you're from Little Rock, but how you got into like the appraisal business. Just give us a little backstory.
Sure. So most people that are appraisers don't really go after looking to getting into the field. And so it seems everybody is introduced to this field some type of way. But so I had no thought of becoming an appraiser. I actually wanted to, go to college and go be an attorney. That's initially what I wanted to do. And so, like I said, I majored in criminal justice. And, after college, I thought I was just going to go back to Little Rock and, go to the law school there and start prepping for there. But a guy that I grew up in church with
Okay.
I knew his family, uh, since I was like 4 or 5, and he asked me, he's like, "Yo, what you gonna do when you get out of college?" I told him I was gonna go to law school there. He was like, "You want to come work for me?" And I was like, "You gonna pay me?" And so, but he was an appraiser, and literally that moment, eh, it's just crazy to think about it because that moment, me being open, allowed me to really find my passion of what I wanted to do for a career.
That's amazing because I know at 26, a lot of us, you would think that most people know what they want to do, but it's you're just in that mindset where you're just unsure. Even when I remember what I got my degree in liberal arts, and I haven't used that degree. I'm just like, well, I guess I have in some ways, but you just never know. I wanted to do marketing and business, so I emphasized in that. So, were there any challenge? What were some of the challenges that you had getting into the business, being that young, making history, which is so dope?
So, so I was actually 24 when I first started training, and so yeah, it was literally 1 month after graduating college, and
Okay.
so but I went on to work for my mentor for about 2 years, and um, I ended up getting my license the fall of 2007. And then that following year, I ended up wanting to get off on my own, but I didn't know that recession was happening. But so some of the challenges as a young person going through this process is that I was typically the youngest and probably the only person of color going through these classes that you have to take. And
Mhm.
so I didn't really think nothing to it. It was just something that my mentor told me, "Hey, you got to take these classes too." I was like, "Okay," but I'm going to these classes all over Arkansas, and I found myself being one of the youngest people in the room always, and a few people of color in the building, and I didn't really think about it, back then. I just was just going through the motion of like, oh, this is what I got to do to continue on my passion, and so I just would say, uh, understanding just the business itself, because the average age in America is 50 years old, still today, 20 years later.
Wow.
I've been around this field, but the average age is still 50 to 65. And so for a young 24-year-old kind of being introduced to this particular field was just crazy,
That's crazy. So you started training it at 20. So when did you have your own business? At
Yeah.
26 or 24?
Yes. Yeah. So I started training at 24, and then I was with my mentor for up to 2 years. And then I got really, motivated, as I talk about in my book, that I felt like I had the confidence, but I didn't know 2008 was going to happen like that.
Nobody did. That was crazy. That was insane. I remember I was out here in 2008, and you mentioned like mentorship. I wanted you to speak a little bit on that because I think a lot of people don't understand how important that is. So, just talk a little bit how that helped you get into the business as far as mentorship. If you have any type of mentorship programs yourself that you want to share.
Yeah. So, the biggest thing for me at 24 was just being open, right? And so a lot of times we have to be, to get to where we want to go, we got to be open to other people helping us, right? And so I'm so very grateful to my mentor because he taught me everything I know. But, you know, I just think in my book, I talk about he had me filing these files in a hot part of the office, right? And so it's just like those type of things. I didn't think nothing about the hot office. It was just something that he needed me to do. And so I just feel like as we're being introduced to different careers, different opportunities, and we're kind of, asking mentors to train us, I think it's more about the job, and not thinking about that hot office. It's just like, oh, this somebody that's helping me out. He need me to do this. Let me just go do it. And so I just think that is a big aspect of just kind of working with mentors. How can you be um, uh, valuable to that mentor that's going to show you how to get to the next level? And so, um, as far as like programs, I am a full-time speaker now, and I speak around the country to high schools, college students, and I literally have a virtual community that I'm launching as well, where people can come tap in and get some of this real estate sauce, And so, but
Yeah.
what specifically what I'm doing now is I'm helping our young people get introduced to these real estate careers in their state, because most people don't get a direct introduction of it. What's a realtor, what's an appraiser, what's a loan officer, right? And so, and then how much money they making, or how do they get paid, and understanding all these things, right? And which I got introduced to very young. Not only did I run an appraisal company, but I was doing mortgage loans at the same time. And
Oh.
so a lot of people don't know that you can be dual licensed.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious. I'm real nosy. The mentor that you have, what was was he black? Oh, white?
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
he
he
was
was
black. And he was black. And, it's really a deeper story than this, because his name was Philip Thompson. And so, like I said, I've been knowing him and his family since I was like 4 or 5. We grew up in the same church. But
oh,
come to find out, Philip's dad was my Sunday school teacher, right? And so he was an appraiser. And so he was the reason Philip learned the appraisal game. And so his dad taught Philip, Philip taught me, but I didn't even know my Sunday school teacher was an appraiser.
wow,
so
that's
so
crazy.
it's just a full circle moment,
Yeah.
Um, and so, I'm very thankful to that family, because that family allowed me to really find my passion. And, it's just, I think we sometimes forget about the people that led the way, right? And I think we always have to acknowledge those people.
I love that. You're right. We always got to acknowledge the people that paved the way. The reason why we're still here and able to do what we do is because of the ones that came before us. So yes, I love that. And you were speaking about your passion. What are some things that keep you going when or keep you motivated when those tough times come around? Is there anything you do like your routine, any type of self motivation or anything like that that you can share with us?
Sure, sure. So I am a full-time speaker. So, and, a lot of traveling, a lot of different things. But for me, the motivation is I'm coming somewhere where nobody has ever heard any appraisal, anything. And so when you got the heart to just share, it's just a totally different motivation, because I know I'm going to impact somebody in this room.
Mm,
I know somebody is going to take something that I've said or learned today and impact it in their life or career or journey. And so I think for me, that is what keeps me motivated, along with the traveling. It's just that heart to share.
mm-hmm. Yeah, like we were speaking earlier, we was talking offline, y'all. When I was saying that I feel like this whole journey of life is bigger than us. It's bigger than us, and I love everything that you're doing. So I want to get into your book because I read your book. It was just amazing. Just you were talking about when you went to Central High, the historical Central High, and all the things that you went through. So, what inspired you to write "Assessing My Value"?
I'm going to give you the real deal today. I'm clocking
I want the
in a
real.
real time right now. I'm going to give it to you all. So I've been in the field roughly about 20 years, right? And so up to about 16 years, I'm working for Fannie Mae, still doing valuations all over the country and stuff.
All
And
right.
so up to this point, I never really shared anything of my life. But Lynn, I was living in Dallas, right? And so I went back to Little Rock. It's about 4.5 hour drive. And so I went to Little Rock to see my grandpa. Lynn, my grandpa 95 right now. And so grandpa's still rocking, right?
Awesome.
And so,
Oh, what
but
a blessing.
but yeah, I went to Little Rock, and went to go see my grandfather and my mom, family. And on my way back to Dallas, I left about 10 o'clock in the morning, right? And On my way to Dallas, I got caught up in a tornado. I was on the highway. It was about 11:30 during the day and just all dark. All I can hear is my phone going off. Tornado in your area, take cover. And I'm like, where I'm gonna take cover, right? And so it's nothing but land and highway, right? And so some people just kept straight. Some people try to turn around, go back the other way. Some people stop on an underpass, and I just stopped under the underpass with the rest of the car and land for a whole 1 hour and 30 minutes. I didn't know if I was gonna live or die. I'm talking about I'm making calls back home, like, hey y'all, I'm in a situation. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, right? And so for that whole what's that?
You were by yourself?
By myself.
Lord have
And
mercy.
so I'm sitting in my car, right? And I'm holding on to the steering wheel. And all of a sudden, my car is doing this. And so during that time, I thought about, wow, I felt like I made a lot of history in this game, and I never shared anything. I never shared one single thing about my journey that's helping younger people or just being an industry expert on this appraisal valuation part. And I just told God, I was like, God, if you let me get out of this situation, I promise I'm going to share. I'm going to share so much. I'm going to do everything in my power to just kind of help folks and because I've just been a doer. I was just accomplish one thing, go on to the next. Yeah, I'm doing appraisals, great. I'm doing mortgage loans, I'm flipping houses, I'm managing rental properties, like all this stuff. And I was just going on to the next thing. Okay, Fannie Mae come, 10 years in the game there, right? And so, but at this point, I think God put a battery pack in me. It was like, I'm gonna let you make it, but outside of that, I need you to be about my business. And so outside of that situation, inspired me to write a book. I've traveled all over the country, state coast to coast, hosting events. I've even started another company, helping people understand about wills, trust, and estate planning. Like I'm literally, just really doing all the things that I feel that could be of some benefit to people. And so that's a real life story. You getting the real deal today. I was waiting till my TED talk to roll it out, but you got it on Clocking In with Lynn today.
That gave me a chill because I'm so scary. I couldn't. That's why I asked you, were you by yourself?
I was.
Imagine.
And just imagine you're holding on to that steering wheel and you just, the car going up and down. And it's just like, you don't just know. You don't know if this is your last moment, your phone going off, tornado in your area, take cover. Like it's just a lot going on, right? And you're now thinking about your life up to this point, 16 years in the game. If that moment would have been bad for me, I would have never shared my journey, my story, my everything. Today, I'm getting young people saying that they saw me speak at a conference or they read my book. Now that they're encouraged to go into the appraisal game. And so it's just all these things are now happening and it's just making impact.
I love that. I love that so much. Like I said, it gave me a chill because I couldn't even imagine. And it was like your life flashed in front of you. You're just like, I got to leave a legacy here. I love that. Oh my goodness. What is one of your biggest, I want to say this because I know a lot of people probably want to know this because I get this a lot in real estate. What is one of the biggest misconceptions about ownership, like owning real estate and how to even get into owning real estate? Like I said, a lot of people are very intimidated by it. I love that you were talking about the wheels. It's so much to unpack right with this because a lot of our community too, they don't do wills, they don't do trusts, so all of that. So let's start with the real estate first, and then we'll talk about the wills and the trust because I really want to talk about that because that needs to be talked about.
Sure. So, I think the biggest misconception is people thinking it's hard to just see where they are. To go talk to a lender is free. They gonna pull your credit for free. they ask for some documents to try to pre-approve you. It's literally free to do, and I just feel like compared to, if you're renting, you could go get a pre-approval amount and then now see, okay, well, this is what I'm doing per month right now renting. Most mortgage payments are a little bit lower than what people pay for typical rent, depending on what kind of style of property that they're renting, right? And so, what's that?
I say not in Cali, but we'll get.
Now, it's a little different out there now. I didn't put lots of values, all on properties on all out there, but I just feel like understanding that you can just go check, like you can just go tap in with any loan originator at a bank or a mortgage company, and they can just give you this information that you can digest. You don't have to make no moves, right? You can just take it and be like, okay, this is what it's like owning. And I think the other thing is, it is a comfortability kind of issue. Most people are comfortable in their space, right? But I think when you understand, oh, if I own, now I'm investing into myself, and then there is property appreciation typically when you own real estate. So literally your property in a good market is going to appreciate, and you can literally use that equity and appreciation to make other moves and have your leverage. So I feel like the aspect of just kind of, trying to see where you are, as far as like, pre-approval amount, and then what your monthly payment could be in the mortgage. But then also understanding, oh, well, if I'm going to live here for the next 10, 15 years, let me just invest into myself 10 or 15 years, and then have something to show for it, because you're literally reducing your loan amount as you're making payments. And renting, typically that rent is going to go up, and you're investing into somebody else, and they don't ever want you to leave,
right?
Because you're paying their bills, you're paying their mortgage, you're helping them go on vacation.
Absolutely. And I love that you said the about all the it was something that you just said. I was just like, that was perfect. About what'd you say right before that? It was
the aspect of like understanding, pre-approval amount.
Oh yeah, the pre-approval, because a lot of time, and like when you said you can go just to see where you are. That way, you can find out where you are, and then you can see like what you need to do later. Like you said, you can do it for free just to see what you get approved for, and then you can take the steps to see where you need to go and where you need, what you need to do to become an owner. So I do love that. And I was watching something the other day, and I want you to help me with this and help all of us with this, where it was an interracial couple, and the woman, she was Black, her husband was white, and she was saying they were getting an appraisal on their house, and they came while she was there. She had a lot of African art up in her house, and they gave her one number. The husband was nowhere to be found, and then the husband and she was like, "Wait, I think we need to get somebody else to come in and check this out." So they took all the African art down, had the white husband do it, and they were appraised over $1 million more when he did it. So can you tell us, how can we make sure that we are getting the right type of appraisals and not being, because that was crazy. They said $1 million more. I was in shock.
It happens. It's been happening. It's just,
I know it's been happening. It's been happening.
Now that right. Now there's this social media stage now. People are finding out more and more this is happening, but the appraisal is just an opinion of value, right? But in our community, diverse communities, it's still less than probably 2% African American appraisers in America. Wow. Did you hear what I said? Wow. Out of 80,000, less
Two.
than out of 80,000.
Wow.
And so what I'm very interested in is just showing people how to get into the business, because it's just an opinion of value, because uh, two people can go look at that same property, and in that case there were two different values, but it's just an opinion. The first person had an opinion, right? The second person have an opinion. And so, but when you don't have a diverse workforce, you know, and
So that's
so that,
more reason. That's
what's
even
that?
more. No, I was saying that's even more. Not to cut you off. I'm sorry, but that's even more reason we need to get more people like us in the business. So okay, so go.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I have these partnerships where I can give people money off the courses in any state. Like I can give people money off the courses to become a realtor, appraiser, or loan officer in any state. And so this is what I love doing when I go travel and talk to organizations, schools, churches. Like I really come in with some teeth, because most people are not introduced to this field. And so first off, it needs to be an introduction. People need to know what's the importance of the appraisal,
Right.
which is very important because they control it all. They control every market, whether
Wow.
the neighborhood is good or bad or considered bad, like they control it all. And so when you don't have people that, of color putting the values on the properties, then it's
Wow.
gonna be the wild, wild west. And it's been the wild, wild west, right? And so the second thing you can do though is you can order a drive-by appraisal. Um, you can get one value, and you can hire another appraiser, which is going to give you
Okay.
another opinion, and ask them to give you a drive-by and give them um, the characteristics of the property. Give them the bed bath, the square footage, give them the condition of the interior. And let's just say you had a rehab property, you can give that appraiser, hey, I want you to give me a drive-by and assume that this property is rehab. So what they're going to do is do a 2055 drive-by appraisal report, where they're just going to go to the property, take a picture of the front, take a picture of the street, and then they're going to pull sales, and you can give them this extraordinary assumption that the property is rehab, if it is. And then
Okay.
they'll pull comps, and then you can see from that first appraisal where it was compared to this drive-by report, which is less than a full-fledged appraisal. And so it's just kind of a cheaper option to kind of check the value too. And
Okay.
and then the next thing you can do is pull the lever with the lender, which is a reconsideration of value. And so basically, if the appraisal comes in lower, or you think something's going on, you can pull this lever. It's called a reconsideration of value with the lender, and then you're gonna get with your realtor, like Lynn, and and ask Lynn for some additional comps to submit to get this reconsideration of value done. And so those are some things that people can put some teeth into.
I love that, and thanks for that insight, because I was watching that the other day. I said, "Wait, I could not." I was like, "I cannot wait to talk to Marcus about this," because that's crazy to me. And we have to, like you said, Marcus, we have to get more people that look like us into this business, so we have that protection. So yes, thank you for that. And I want to just ask you, with all these accolades, all the things you've done, is this kind of changing? Going to this, I love my self love. I wanted to just ask you, being the person you are, all the things you've done, all the things you've accomplished, have you ever dealt with any type of like imposter syndrome or self doubt? And I'm asking you this because I know there's so many kids and people that that want to get into certain businesses, and they struggle with that, or what? So did you ever experience that at all, being in the business, or especially when you say you were the youngest, you were like sometimes the only one of color? Did you ever like struggle with that at all, or were you just like, I got this?
Well, here's the thing. So, I started my business in Arkansas, right? And so in Little Rock, when I was all gung ho about, I got my license, I think I'm about to start this business, I went to multiple people, and, professionals, to
Okay.
tell them that I'm I'm thinking about starting this business, and every last one of them was like, we think you should wait. You
What?
probably need to wait, work more with your mentor. But I'm all excited because I found what I love to do, right? And Lynn, let me tell you, that
Wow.
was so discouraging, And so for people that's listening, hey, if you know you found what you love to do, don't let anybody stop you because I'm gonna tell you, Grandpa, 95-year-old Grandpa, he saw my passion. He was like, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna help you get the laptop, the software. I see your passion. I see you love this." And
Pops?
so he believed in me, and it worked out. And so I just want to just reiterate, like, hey, people may doubt you, but if you just believe in you and you know your worth, your self-worth of who you are and what you're gonna bring to the table, don't let nobody stop you because just think if those people would have discouraged me and I just would have went back into law, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would have never started a business at 26. I would have never been traveling around the country speaking, never wrote a book. Like all these things would not have happened. And so, and it just takes one. It just takes one to believe in you. And what it takes two. It takes somebody that's gonna help you, but
And
then you gotta
yourself.
believe in yourself.
Yeah,
You
I'm
gotta
just
believe
about to
in
say
yourself.
that it takes two. It starts with you first. Wow. That's
But just think
incredible,
about it.
man. I just love your story. I was just like, this is crazy. Like I love, love, love your story. And what was your like just hearing everything because I was not that brave in my 20s. I think I was probably more, but I moved to LA. That was brave. People say that was brave, but I was like, all right, whatever. But what that kid that or anyone that's looking to get into the business, I know you was like to believe in yourself, all of those things. What else can they do? Like they need the mentorship, believe in themselves. What is something else they could possibly do? Like who should they reach out to? I know with I know you said that you have your program. I just the reason I'm just so passionate about us getting ahead. I'm just so tired of us being behind. What is something they can do right now at this moment if they're interested in to get into an appraisal, if they even if they're like younger?
Um, right now, I feel like the big thing is educating themselves on what these careers do and what the day in the life is like, because that is going to really give you a open window if this is something that I want to do. Most people don't know that the appraiser it doesn't just sit behind the desk. They have to actually go to a property. They have to measure the property. They have to do a property description of the property, uh, determine the condition of the property. So you're, if you don't like as a realtor, you're talking to a lot of people, right? But the appraiser sometimes don't talk to people. So if you're more of an introverted kind of person, you're just going to the property. You may talk to a homeowner or agent here or there, but most of the time you got a lot box that's just gonna let you in so you can do what you got to do. And so I think educating um, of what these careers are, what's the day in the life like, and then prepare before you launch. I was a young kid, right? Before I launched my company, I educated myself on just business because I was very young.
You were.
I talked to other mentors or older adults about how to structure a business. What about this? What about that? Before I even did anything as far as launching. I knew my craft, but that's just one thing. And I think you have to prepare, seriously prepare, understand what it's going to take to run a business and all the things that you need to know to keep it going. Uh, and and then also you definitely like I said, you got to prepare, but you also too have to believe that you can do this
Mhm.
because even though I found my passion, and I do recommend people to find something that they love to do because that's going to make you want to learn everything about that, right? And then, but I think you have to just really understand that you can do this. Like you can learn it all. It's nothing that you cannot learn. And it sounds so easy to understand, but it's really true because we could be our biggest crutch in some things because we'll stop ourselves from even taking the learning curve of everything because we don't believe we could do it, you know.
Right.
And so I just think it definitely starts with you, but it starts with preparation. As long as you prepare before you launch anything, have your ducks in a row, understand what you're actually doing and how to run what you're actually trying to do, and then have an exit plan if it doesn't work. In my situation, once I got introduced to real estate, I was just done. I was done because it just interested me so much and I wanted to learn it all. I didn't just stop with the appraisal company. I just wanted to learn it all.
Right.
So I think that interest level is gonna help you when times get tough. Or when
Right.
those days you wake up and you just I don't think I want to do this. But it's just like you in what you love, so it's
Yeah.
gonna keep you going, right? And
Right.
then the aspect of getting into something that's helping people, the appraisal field is literally the middle person between a buyer getting their loan and the property, and so as an appraiser, you're protecting the public, because sellers, they're gonna want to sell their property for what they want all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have the actual value, then that person that's buying their property could be underwater their mortgage day one, right? And so
Right.
it's just I feel a sense of like, oh, responsibility that I'm helping the public, and then I'm also helping my client, which is a lender. They want to pre-approve someone, and they want to give the money, but they don't want to give it if it ain't worth what they trying to give, right? And so now you're helping this client, this lender, do good business because if they have a loan out there, they want to make sure it's worth that or more before they uh, hit go on that loan.
I love that. I love that. And I was going to ask you too, what is what do you think about what what do you think about, I know you were saying that, okay, so we need mentorship. Do they have internships or anything for like people that, oh, they do they have internship for appraisers or no?
Well, typically how it works is once you get through with the courses, then you go find a mentor to work underneath to satisfy what the state wants you to have as far as like an experience requirement. So typically you would take the courses, go find a mentor, work underneath that mentor for several hours. And then once you satisfy what the state wants you to do, then you can go take the test. But Lynn, when I got started back in '05, you couldn't even be a trainee without a college degree. and so
What?
and so
Okay.
you can even train
Y'all
to
listening.
become an appraiser.
Okay.
And so the game has changed definitely now. Now people can just take the courses online. You can reach out to me to get those courses. And in every state, by the way. And so, but now people can just,
You have courses for all the states?
yeah. So I have a brand partnership with this company called the CE Shop. And so
Love it.
literally when I go travel around the country, I'll come in and talk about these real estate careers, like what they are, what's a realtor, what's an appraiser,
Okay.
what's a loan officer, and then break it down to them. And I got some people interested, like, okay, well, guess what? I can get you 30% off these courses. You start tomorrow. and so this is how impactful I am because I've been in the game a minute and I can explain it to a way it's gonna make you understand. And so, but then I'm getting all these partnerships with these different companies where I can get your money off the courses and I can get your money off the software, right? Too, so I'm just very grateful and thankful that people have seen the work I've been doing out in the community and wanting to partner with me to help further the industry.
I love that. And before we wrap it up, I have a couple questions left. I want to ask you, what would you tell your 24-year-old self today if you could go back and give your old self some advice?
Yeah, so actually, the last chapter in my book is a letter to my younger self. And so I remind my younger self that, hey, I grew up in the hard part of Little Rock. Banging in Little Rock was on and popping when I
Yeah,
was coming up. And so I literally grew up around where they were filming. And so my upbringing was really tough. And so I wrote this last chapter of the book to kind of remind myself, hey, don't join the gang, don't sell the drugs, let's stay on the right path, because now you get to travel around the country and tell people what you've done in your life. And then I would also tell my younger self to just remind my younger self to be open, because
I love that.
me getting into the appraisal field was by the grace of God. Like, I had no idea that appraisal existed. I had no idea it was a career, but I was just so open because I accomplished my first goal of graduating college, even though I came in a rough neighborhood. And so that allowed me to be open. And so I would definitely tell my younger self to just be open for every opportunity and stay on the right track. And then my grandparents spoiled me. I went over there every morning as a high school student to have breakfast. And so it's just having that good quality time with your people that believe in you. And I just would just say, stay ambitious, stay hungry, right? And if you find something that you're very passionate about, it's going to keep you hungry. It's going
Don't
to keep
keep
you hungry.
hungry because we gotta eat. We all gotta eat. I think somebody had a question for you. Oh, did you go to Arkansas State? He went to University of Arkansas in Fayetteville.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm. And then I have another question for you. What is one of the best financial what's a financial advice that you've ever gotten from anyone that you could share?
So most people feel like once you get into a type of career that it's only like one way to skin a cat. Listen, it is multiple ways to get what you want to get done. It's multiple ways to do it. I'll give you an example. In an appraisal game, most appraisers work with lenders, right? But most people don't understand that you can get work uh, when banks foreclose on properties, when people get a divorce, they need an appraisal. When you remove your mortgage insurance, I'd say banks foreclose. When you got probate, when you're working with attorneys with probate, people just want to know market value. So it's like more than one way to get business. And so in business, I feel like your client, you could have a direct client, but just if you stay open and understand that actually multiple people can be your client, and here's how to market to more than just your ideal client, that's going to take you far. And then I would also say think outside the box. As a young kid that was not your average appraiser, I talk about this in my book. I woke up one day and I went and brought breakfast out the blue to this one bank. And I know a soul in there. So you gotta be able to step outside the box, right?
Yes.
Know your craft and introduce yourself as a business person. And I think people rock with you. Lynn, one person out of that bank took my card, and what I did was, so typically the appraisal takes about a week and a half to do. And on my business card, I put 48-hour turnaround time. So at that point, they didn't care if I was black, white, yellow, green. If I was getting that appraisal back in 48 hours, they was gonna rock with me. And so one person took a chance on me, and I ended up working with all the lenders in the bank.
That's beautiful. Oh, I love that. That
And
is
so
so awesome.
you gotta present yourself, and you gotta think outside the box, and you gotta do attention getters.
And you got to do it even when you're scared. I always tell that the people that I work with, I'm like, you got to do it even when you're scared. You can't worry about that. You just got to do it. And I did want to touch on that. I don't want to forget. I want us to touch a little bit on wills and trusts. Did you want to touch on that a little bit?
Sure. So I'm the CEO of this company and nonprofit called KITF LLC, which stands for Keeping It in the Family. And so a lot of people don't know there's a great wealth transfer happening right now. A lot of our baby boomers are, passing and leaving property, land and property to their loved ones. But what's happening is people are losing all of this wealth because of documents
Ooh.
and they don't have a plan. And so a lot of states have these transfer on death deeds where you can just fill this out and transfer land and property without even going to probate. And so a lot of people don't know these things existing right now. And then people are in grandma's house thinking it's going to be there. You don't even know.
Right. Don't even know.
And so what we do is we host conferences, summits around the country, and just bring families in like a family reunion, but we're going to educate you on what's a deed, what's a will. If you have a title issue, here's how to do this. And just kind of give a lot of education. And so we've been hosting conferences and summits around the country. Lynn, we just did one in Chicago. Lynn, my dad's from Chicago. My dad passed in 2024.
I'm
And
so
Lynn,
sorry.
thank you. I went back to his community and did a Keep It in the Family workshop with the residents there in his community. And so it was so powerful. We had real estate attorneys, tax attorneys there, urban leagues were there sponsoring. It was just an amazing thing to feel like, oh, wow, I just impacted my dad's neighborhood. And so this is where we got to start having these conversations, because if you don't have a plan, I'm going to say it again. If you don't have a plan, the state got a plan for you.
Come on. You better tell them, Marcus Hill. Wow.
They got a plan. They got it all set out, laid out for you. If you don't have a plan, they got a plan for you. And so what we love to do is just kind of help explain why you need these things set up, why you need to start having conversations. And I do this with a board certified real estate attorney. And so we just go around the country and impact communities.
I love that. That's what it's all about, impacting communities, bringing wealth, generational wealth to our community, because we need all of it. And it's a lot of times the reason why we lose is because we don't have the knowledge. So thank you so much for the knowledge and your insight. And before we leave, I want you to give us one word that describes Marcus Hill. Just one word.
Whew. I got about 50, but this one.
Give me your time. Okay, you can give me 3.
One is definitely motivated. I've been motivated ever since I was a young kid, growing up in this tough neighborhood. And so just motivation. Lynn, I'll just leave you with that.
Motivation. I love
motivated that. Because
a
lot of different things can motivate you, right? But remembering your upbringing, finding your passion things, it motivates you to keep going. And then helping the community, it motivates you.
It does. I always say, even when I'm down about something, it's hard to get me down. But when I am, what makes me feel good is going to help somebody else. And I'm right back at it. So where can everybody find you, Marcus Hill? Give out your handle so they'll know how to find you, because you have given us some gems. I am so grateful for you. We need more Marcus Hills out there to be helping our community, building generational wealth. This is so dope. I just love everything you do, and I'm so proud of you too. So please let us know where we can find you and keep up with you and see what's coming up next for you.
Absolutely. So I'm at Instagram on Ask Marcus Hill, ASK Marcus Hill. I'm on Facebook, Marcus Hill. I'm on LinkedIn, Marcus Hill. You can go to my website at www.officialmarcushill.com. Lots of things there, and you can check out my other company at www.kitfllc.com, and that's for all the Keeping It in the Family and so information that we give out.
I love it. So I appreciate for you being here and sharing this afternoon with me. And thank you so much for everything. We'll be in touch because I definitely want to work with you. And I really appreciate you, Marcus. Like, keep on doing what you're doing because you are making a difference. You are impacting our community. And God bless everything you touch because this is awesome. It makes my heart smile. I know it's doing everything for what we need. Okay. So thank you so much for being here on Clocking with Lynn.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. I'm happy to be clocked in. Hope I get to clock in again sometime. Before we
Definitely.
go, I just want to share. You guys can go get the book "Assessing My Value" at Amazon.com, and I am rolling out a new book this year, so maybe I could come back and talk about that.
Absolutely. And his book, y'all, is phenomenal. Like, I was blown away. Even just the first couple of chapters, I was blown away. So it is a must read, a must have. Assessing my value. It was awesome. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Absolutely.
All right, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus.
All right.
I told y'all. Woo! Y'all, we need more men like that in our community, doing the work. He's putting in the work. He's helping and mentoring young men and women. Like, I love everything about that, y'all. We have to get better. We have to get better together. This is why I created this platform, Clocking with Lynn, because it's all about us building generational wealth and the knowledge. We lose so much money every day because there's just things that we don't know. And it's been happening generation after generation after generation. And a person like Marcus Hill, he is what we need more of that, y'all. So please check him out. Please send it to your just share this video because this needs to be shared with amongst our community because we got to do better. We can do better together. I believe in us. I think we are the dopest people that was ever created on this earth, honey. We are the kings and the queens. We are royalty and we need to live accordingly. So I appreciate everyone for being here today on Clocking with Lynn. Make sure that you hit that like button, that share button, all of those things is going to be on replay. So I know that a lot of people will watch it and reach out. If you have other questions for me, please email me at clockingwithlynn@gmail.com and I will be happy to answer any questions for you. And y'all, I love y'all so much. Lynn's friends, y'all always show up and show out. So I appreciate y'all. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the things that you guys are doing. And I am just grateful to be here. And I will see y'all next time on Clocking with Lynn. Have a beautiful winning Wednesday, y'all. Love y'all. Mwah. Bye, y'all.